In my previous video, I covered some of the most popular types of aquarium fish and their origins around the world. However, there are a few that I forgot to mention. So, let's start off with piranhas. Now, we're all familiar with piranhas. They're native to the Amazon basin as well as the Orinoco River systems, both of which reside in the northern half of South America. This area is known for its high heat and precipitation, which makes these two basins some of the richest and aquatic life in the entire world despite the fact that they aren't saltwater bodies. This is unsurprising given the fact that their terrestrial environments of the Orinoco and Amazon basins are some of the most biodiverse on the planet. So it makes sense that their freshwater bodies would be just as diverse, if not more. Now, piranhas are not a species, but rather a family. In fact, there are probably around 40 different confirmed species of piranhas that are native to the Amazon River and nearby water systems. Needless to say, though, there are probably far more than 40, but given the vastness of the Amazon and how remote some of these bodies of water are, I can't assert the exact number. Given the fact that most fish cannot walk up out of water from one part of the Amazon River to another body of water, it makes sense that there would be some degree of speciation. After all, these are not necessarily migratory animals to any significant degree. It is true that the Amazon River is connected, but given how many tributaries there are, this allows some degree of speciation to form along certain tributaries. So, for example, a species of piranha that exists on one tributary in, say, Peru would be quite different than another that exists in a tributary along a river in Colombia. And even within those countries, there are going to be variations depending on the body of water. Just proceed with caution when you feed them. And make sure that there aren't any other species in the tank aside from piranhas or very small fish they won't bother with, unless you want your other pets to become piranha shit. So, let's move on to another popular species of aquarium fish in the hobby, the arowana. Arowanas are native to both the Amazon basin like piranhas, as well as some parts of Southeast Asia and the Indian subcontinent, as there are different species. These fish are not just known for their large size and unusual appearance, but also for their ability to breathe air. They still have gills, it's just that their swim bladder can acquire oxygen from the air, given the fact that their swim bladder is covered in capillaries. Capillaries are essentially tiny little blood vessels with permeable membranes, similar to what we have in our lungs. While I can't confirm, I would say that the main reason why they evolved this trait is because they probably were in oxygen-deficient waters, and oftentimes fish that live in oxygen-deficient waters have to improvise, and those with the ability to breathe some air will be able to survive and pass on their genes. Now, it is also advised that unless you have a gigantic tank, don't get arowanas, so I'm going to move on to another species that requires a large tank, sharks. Or more accurately, fake sharks. Obviously, real sharks are not particularly suitable for the aquarium hobby for the vast majority of people. The overwhelming vast majority of sharks live exclusively within marine water and require very large volumes of water and pristine water parameters, which are just not suitable for the vast majority of people. However, the aquarium trade has created their own brand of quote-unquote sharks, which aren't really sharks. If you see something called a rainbow shark, for example, or the red-tailed shark or the albino shark, these are really just carps that look kind of like sharks. They have that beautiful, slender, sleek appearance, but they're actually more closely related to goldfish and koi as they're part of the carp family. And this way you can enjoy the experience of saying you own pet sharks without being a Bond villain. Last on the list, I thought I might as well include one example of a true saltwater fish. This is quite possibly the most popular saltwater fish in the hobby, known as a clownfish. Now, saltwater actually requires a lot more money and attention to detail than keeping a freshwater tank does. Obviously, you need to be more careful about water parameters, namely your nitrogen cycle, and of course your salinity. However, clownfish are quite possibly the easiest to take care of, perhaps only rivaled by damsels when it comes to saltwater fish. The clownfish trade became much more popular due to the movie Finding Nemo released during the early 2000s. Unfortunately, that led to a bunch of people to buy pet clownfish without the knowledge of how to take care of them. With that being said, in sharp contrast to the vast majority of other saltwater fish, which are very difficult to breed in captivity, clownfish actually can be pretty easily aquacultured in captivity on a commercial and industrial level, and there are many home aquariums that have also succeeded in breeding various types of clownfish. They don't really require a sufficient amount of water, 30 gallons will do it for a couple, and they're also quite hardy. You don't even need to give them an anemone. In fact, they're so accustomed to living in captivity that various people have not only bred various types of different species of clownfish, but have also bred different morphs of clownfish. This is most popular among the Ocellaris clownfish, which have been bred into a variety of different colors and patterns. Hopefully, we can replicate this trend with other saltwater species. Granted, it would be a much more difficult task, but this would allow hobbyists to enjoy one of their passions without harming the environment, by not taking up wild-caught species from actual coral reefs. We've even seen some very limited success with Nemo's best friend Dory, the blue tang. Thanks for watching.